All right, folks, listen, we finna bring fun back into the kitchen, right? Now, the reason I'm gonna say fun is because this recipe right here will take us back to like when we were kids. You know what I mean? We had that going. And then, you know what, if those of us that are parents, you know, we got kids right now, these are great recipes. You can bring them in the kitchen and teach them, you know, a thing or two about feeding themselves and just having fun with the family. And with that being said, we making battered fish and chips. Let's get it. Now, before I even do the little flyover on the ingredients, I just want to let you guys know we're making, you know, when I say chips, I'm talking about the fries, right? We doing steak fries. I'll tie everything into this recipe. You guys will be able to hit whatever link. It'll be down in the #1 comment and in the description box. You know what I mean? We know how to make French fries, so I'm gonna spare you guys that trouble. Now, if you guys take a look down here, this is all of the ingredients you're gonna need. And did I say already that we're gonna be making our own tartar sauce? Yes, we are. Now, if it looks like we got a lot of ingredients, let me just go ahead and do this. I'll take the fish, I'll take all of my powders right here, right? Which is, that's my cornstarch, flour, and then I got 2 teaspoons of baking powder, right? Everything on this side, minus, well, I can do it like this because it's gonna be split. And salt and pepper. This right here will be for the, you know, the battered. Oh, we gotta bring this over here too. This will be for our battered, you know, fish. Everything splitting this down the middle on this side will be, you know, for our tartar sauce. And if I hadn't said already, the full ingredient list is on my website. Now that's Smokin and Grillin with AB.com, and that's WITAB.com. All right, so listen, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and make my tartar sauce, right? I've been calling it tartar, I guess because I say it so fast, but you know the spelling of it is T-A-R-T-A-R. Anyway, don't seem like that's what I'm saying though, tartar. I don't say it that way, I call it tartar. Most other people do too. We're gonna make that first. Reason being, because once we get it, we wanna put it in the refrigerator and let it chill. You ask me, anytime I have something dippable and it say, and we using fish, I promise you, this gonna be the one you're gonna wanna have, right? So we're gonna keep it real simple, right? Now, you guys gonna talk to me down there in the comment section below and tell me what is your favorite mayo. For me, and because this is what we have, you know, on my side of the country, I like to use, you know, and I prefer, I ain't gonna lie to you, that's this here. And that's our Best Foods brand mayo. Now I know they got all those other mayos out there. I've been all over the country cooking, you know what I mean? So wherever I'm at, you know, I get it all. I done had Dukes. You guys let me know down in the comment section below what else is down there. You know, what is missing. You know what I mean? We could just talk about it all day long. But I will tell you this though, this and another one is just about the same, made by the same people. Now, as you know, when you're making a tartar sauce, your mayo is like the base, right? This and the sour cream. For me, if you wanna know what the base is, I'm gonna just say it this way, the base is the mayo. You know, there's a whole lot of ways people can make this. You know what I mean? I done seen people put different things in there, but this right here is a combination that I like. If you guys like my potato salad, I promise you're gonna love this. Now, if you look right here, this little piece right here, looking like it's a dust mop, this is called fresh dill, right? A lot of you guys probably never even use dill outside of this right here, but it's a lot of recipes we can put together to get that unique flavor, right? So now I'm gonna go ahead and just cut some of this down. We just put that over there, and let's just prep this and get it ready. When it comes to dill, for me, I just do it, same thing I'm doing with cilantro. Just get it all together, and let's just make some cuts, right? All right, so now that we got our fresh dill, we got that, you know, chopped down. Now we wanna go ahead and give ourselves, now you got 2 ways you can do this. Listen, I'm using a dill pickle, right? You guys, some of you guys have that dill relish. If you got dill relish and they big enough, if you like that cube size, that dice size, then use that. I can see they just stuffed these in here. We only gonna need like a 1/4 cup. So you see, I just take a couple of these. I'm gonna work with that too, because it's ugly. I don't wanna put that back in here, right? So I'll set that here, and I'll show you what we're gonna do. All we're gonna do is cut this in half. You know how I do the andouille, then we're gonna cut it down again, right? We do it just like you guys see. Right? Now we just want to dice this down. And you tell me, is this the size that you like? You see these right here? I'm liking that. You know, now you can go smaller, a real small dice. And the only thing you got to do is, I think I'm going to put that one back. Let's get rid of this one. You know what? I'm going to eat that one. Let's just go ahead and cut this one down. All right? And then you can cut these down too to get them even thinner. Right? This helps with the dicing. Sour cream, your favorite mayo, right? Now I'm gonna go ahead and just add my dill. I'm gonna leave just a little bit of this dill here. We're gonna add our dill pickle. All right. I might end up putting it all in here, but it's best to just go ahead and just get it all mixed up and go from there. Here we're gonna add a little W sauce. And who is that? Y'all thought it was only W sauce that only goes in, you know, like meaty type dishes. A little Dijon mustard. And before I add the lemon to it, what I want to do is I'm gonna go ahead and mix it all up, and then I'm gonna add the lemon juice in increments. And then what we do is we just give it a mix. You can see right off the back the color of it, let you know that you got a good combination of ingredients, right? You should be able to see that dill, you know, throughout. All right, now I'm looking at this, it does not hurt to add that, you know. Now I'm gonna add a little pepper to it. And just a small pinch, just enough to wake up these flavors, right, of kosher salt. Oh, that's enough, just enough. Now we'll taste it right now. Grab this. All they need is a lemon juice. Now, I just cut my lemon in half. What I'm gonna do is hold my finger like this just to catch any seeds. And we'll let all of the lemon juice, you know, just that good lemon juice. When I say good, I just mean fresh, pure, not coming from nothing else out of the refrigerator. This is the best way, folks. All right, so this is just right, you know, with the lemon juice added to it. It's actually, yeah, when I say just right, I mean like more on the perfect side. I'm gonna be honest with you, I like to get mine. I like to use sweet relish because I like everything made out of that. I'm using dill right now to keep it more traditional. You guys let me know down in the comment section below, which would you rather have? Would you rather have dill or the sweet relish version? Okay, so now would be a great time for you guys to go ahead and, you know, fill up your, whatever you're gonna be deep frying in, you know, frying your fish. Go ahead and fill that up, and then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and bring it to about 300. And I'm gonna tell you this: the goal is to keep it at 350. So we probably wanted to get it about 365, even 370 is fine. You know what I mean? Because once we put it in there, it's gonna bring it down just a little bit. If it's at 370, when it settle down, it'll be at 350. You know what I mean? Right around there anyway. Then I do make a slight adjustment. I add a little bit more temp to it, as you know, that I did when I was bringing it up, so that I can maintain that. Now, if you guys come over here and take a look at this right here, I did it a little bit differently, and I forgot I got in just a habit of, you know, into my groove, right? So this right here is my flour. They're extremely white. What you're seeing right here is my cornstarch. And then these two little mounds right there, them two little small mountains, we're gonna go ahead, and that's gonna be a baking powder, right? So just get you a bowl. It's a little bit much to be doing it in there. So this is what we're gonna be getting our batter from. Now, usually in everybody's title, you call it a beer battle, right? Reason I'm not gonna call that beer battle, because I'm not gonna be using it. I'm gonna be substituting the beer with ginger ale. This is it, right? So this is what you wanna get. You're not gonna lose anything. You're gonna pick up just a little bit of a different flavor, you know what I mean? But if you ask me, it's the flavor on the good side. And then for me, I'm gonna be using my A rub, right? This is my A seasoning from my A and B collection to level up. I like to add a little bit of this in here, you know what I mean? To give it just a little bit of that flavor, a little kick. And this is my go-to. All right, so I usually put about, I don't know, it could be anywhere, but it depends on my batter, how I want to act that day. You know what I mean? So I like to put in about a cup to a cup and a half of ginger ale, right? So let's just go ahead and I always just measure out my first cup, and then I just hand do the rest. You never know. Sometimes I don't know what it is because I measure all my ingredients. You know, it just seems like sometimes they take a little bit more, sometimes one cup doesn't. If you guys know the answer to that one, please let me know down in the comment section below. All right, now I'm gonna take this let's go ahead and start working this inside of here, just like this. First, let me go ahead and incorporate all this together. Give it a little bit of a head start. Right, so now I'll start adding it. Right? Look at that right there. Now you guys are looking like, oh, okay, now I understand how it's gonna be. This is what the beer does, or the ginger ale, right? I can tell you right now, it's gonna take a little bit more. I'm gonna show you the consistency that we want. Okay, so I done pulled out my cod. You guys can see, if you really look, if I bend this like this, it's super flaky. You know, this is like the go-to in the industry. I love cod. You guys tell me what you like. I like the cod. You know what I mean? What I'm doing now is I'm cutting it down like this. Just into like the same size type pieces, so they be ready at the same time, right? I'll take this one and we'll just cut it into threes and we'll just get it this way. Right, so this is cool. I'm liking these, right? You know, little finger foods, kids love them. You know, so look at that right there. Yes, sir. Now, I like to take a paper towel. Even though I had them patted dry, they were patted dry prior to me cutting them, I still put something like this over the top and let this absorb anything it wants to absorb, right? Because you want these to be as dry as possible. You can always stick them into the refrigerator too. That's a little heads up, especially when you're doing chicken. Put it in the refrigerator, leave it in there about 30 minutes, they'll dry themselves out. Right, so we'll leave them like that. You see how wet that is? It's just gonna dry out some of that moisture, that's all. All right, so look at my consistency, folks. This is it right here, right? I just checked my batter and it was up to, my oil on my frying pan and it's ready. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a lot of moisture in here. Now, if you want to know why am I, patting it dry when I'm actually getting ready to dip it, reason being is when it's dry, it'll help this batter stick to the fish better, right? So I know that's up to temp. Smooth this out the way. Now, I'm just gonna grab these and just drop a couple of them in here. And I'm making sure that the ones that I grab in here right now are the same size, right? Now, I'm gonna have one hand that's gonna kind of like get on the dirty side. You know what I mean? Oh, I just move this over. Make sure that doesn't, tip over. Now, I'm gonna get myself something just to push down on it just a little bit. You know what I mean? And then we can always add batter to it, right? These are like nice little fun recipes that you can do with your family. All right, so what I do is I let it drip dry. Right? Now look at this little notion I do right here. I do this right here just to kind of like seal it up, right? And then I just lay them in. I do that and I just repeat, right? Let it drip, right? Bring it in, back and forth, and then drop. Now, one of the things I want to tell you is, listen, they cook very, very fast, right? So what you want to do is when you get them inside of here, if your oil is at 350, you see that nice golden brown color right there? That's it, it's fully cooked. So we cooking this by the color, and then when you want to double check, we got our thermometer right here to tell us if it was completely, cooked true and through. Look at those right there. I'm gonna let that one go just a little while longer. And what I like is when you get yourself one of these spiders right here, you can clean all of the excess, batter off. Right, just that little extra, 35 seconds to 45 seconds. Look at that color, folks. And that right there is how we're gonna introduce our kids and our loved ones into the kitchen. So now I just take it. You see what I mean? Look at how clean I'm keeping my oil. Right? All of the excess on top, I'll just move my trash can over here on this side, and now we're ready. Now, as I taught you guys, like when it come down to making fried chicken, you want to check when you do your second batch, this is how we get success, right? So I'm looking at it right now. It's climbing. We just passed 324, 28. Here, you guys come around, take a look right here. You know what I mean? Now we at 355, 56, it's slowing down. Now's the time that we put it back in, right? Because it's going to drop some, remember that? So let's just go ahead and get these in here. And let's get these going. I don't make no more adjustments to my fire at all, folks. All right, so listen, now I done finished taking pictures of it. You guys can see, these are nothing but steak fries. I season mine so that I can really, really taste them. So as you can see, that's seasoning on there, right? And to be honest with you, look, that's my A seasoning. If you want to know the coverage and how it look, that's it. Now you can do the rest. And don't forget, this is a low sodium product. You guys can pick this up on my website. You know what I mean? Get yourself some. You guys been getting it, so let me just say, you know, thank you. But just staying true to the game, I cook with everything that you see me use. I use mine, I use theirs. So grab yourself some. Now, looking at these right here, I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back. These right here, picture ready, right? Super easy to make, you know what I mean? A great recipe to introduce somebody new to the cooking world, you know what I mean? So listen, I'm gonna take this one here, right? We got our tartar sauce that we made. I pulled that out of the refrigerator. Everything is ready. Let me set this over here like that. Listen, I'm not gonna over talk no more. I'm gonna just go ahead and do this right here. Check this out. Ah, yeah, what's your brain telling you right now? Cheers, y'all. If you like fish and chips, particularly if you like battered, you know, fish. Now, actually, I'm gonna share that, so I can't really go back in there and double dip. But I like to have tartar sauce on every one of my bites. So I respect those behind the camera, right? Then we got these here. Let me get some ketchup. Whew, that right there is what I'd like to share with everybody. This will make for a great appetizer, you know what I mean? With these basketball games, you know, we're gonna be coming up to the playoffs. You wanna make something, you can make a lot of these real quick. Just the bigger the pan, the bigger, you know, the surface that you have to do more at a time, you can make, if you spend yourself about 30, 45 minutes, you can have something to go ahead and give a party. And again, I told you this is great to introduce somebody, you know, new to cooking. This is like something fun you guys can get in there. We just gotta be careful with the grease. Now, with that being said, listen, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and tell everybody out there, there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And when you wanna know how to make something like this, look your boy up. I'm out. Peace.